Okay, sorry about that. Hi everyone, this is audap. Let's continue our game of Shinrai Broken Beyond Despair on Series X. A pumpkin with a smiley face carved into its front. The candle inside it makes it glow with the light. Yeah! It's a spider! Oh, holy shit, is that thing huge? That's gotta be some kind of mutation. It's just a rubber spider. You think it was inside those glasses? Or maybe in cookies? Ew, I ain't gonna touch any more of the. I ain't gonna touch any of those no more. Bada-chan, that spider's not real. We gotta get one of them guys. Yo, what's all the fuss about? Kodaba, perfect timing. You gotta help us. Sister Dolt, I do everything for you, cuties. So, what do you want me to do? There's a spider. You gotta make it go away. That's all. Ha. Je ne coup. Thanks. So where's that spider? That's it? Yes. Sashi. No way I'm going near that. No way I'm going near that monstrosity. What? Come on, be a man and just get rid of it. Hell no. I don't want to get bit by some weird mutation thing. Then what are we going to do? We have to kill it before it multiplies. I know. Let's get Taiko-chan. I saw him get rid of a really big spider in class before. He knows how to deal with these things. Alright. Taiko-chan. Taiko-chan! Just what is wrong with you people? A cookie sheet. The cookies are shaped like witches on brooms, ghosts, skulls, bats, and werewolf heads. Some of them are coated in chocolate. Yeah, I should try one. Carved pumpkin with candle inside. It's radiating an orange glow. There's some bite marks on its right side. This one looks kind of funny. Isn't that the one that Mika had a moment ago? Yes. The one she buried her teeth in. No wonder he looks like that. Poor guy's still in shock. Probably traumatized for the rest of his life. Serves him right for tasting so bad. Well, what do you expect a pumpkin shell that was turned into a lantern to taste like? Apple? What? Why? Why not? Looks like an apple, should taste like an apple. This is a pumpkin. It doesn't look... Never mind. I won't even get into that kind of discussion again. So, Raiko admits defeat. What? No, I just fear this might end up like that time we argued over dog biscuits and tomatoes. Mika has bested Raiko in a verbal dispute. That wasn't even a... Oh, whatever. A bottle with some fuzzy green liquid inside. The original label was replaced with a white sticker that reads, Fresh Zombie Puke. That terrible handwriting is without a doubt Rai's. Poor guy. You mean that skull? Yes. Just looking at him. His jaw's missing and he's only got 3 teeth left. Ain't you see that hole with the cracks surrounding it? That's gotta be a bullet hole. I guess so. What a way to go. First they beat the crap out of him, then they blew his brains out and finally chopped off his head. And if that wasn't already humiliating enough, they put him on display here like some decoration. That's just messed up. I suddenly see Rai and Runa in a very different light. Yeah, especially Runa. Behind that sweet and innocent facade lies a sadistic killer. Who would have thought? Good thing you're just making that up. Yeah, poor Runa. Maybe we should have stopped her before she hears us. Oh. Is that some foreshadowing? A zombified Monarchy Neko. Its right ear was apparently bitten off, and there's a giant hole gaping in its chest, exposing the thorax. Thin worms of blood are slithering from empty caves in its eyes. It's holding a blood-sprinkled silver coin in its right paw, engraved with Shi, the kanji for death. Okay, that's like super creepy. Where'd you even find something like this? Looks like Rai made it herself. It's just an ordinary Monarchy Neko that was repainted. See? The original color is still shimmering through here and there. Someone wasn't very thorough. Oh yeah! That's the typical Rai seal of quality. Well, at least she's got some, got quite some creativity. I gotta give her that. Indeed. New notebook entry has been added. Oh, okay. Another dinner table with lots of decorations, drinks, and snacks on it. What sticks out the most is the Kasa Obaki to the left, a typical yokai of Japanese folklore. This one's made of ceramic. Oh yeah, the haunted umbrella. A big bunch of translucent paper windows with wooden frames are lining the wall. It's impossible to see through them. I don't like these paper windows. Why not? Because you can't look through them. All you can see are shadowy silhouettes. So you never know who or what's on the other side. I used to have a sliding door with paper windows for my room. Oh, right, I remember that. I was all scared shitless when my dad came in the evening to say goodnight. His silhouette looked kind of like some disfigured monster or something. Hey, I just noticed. Ain't that spelled wrong? It is. Both words are actually misspelled. The first E should be an A in both cases. Weird. You think it's on purpose? Good question. I can see Rai not noticing, but Runa should have, so... Actually, I did notice the mistake. Miyamoto-san even asked me if it was spelled correctly, but... But what? But what? That was after she had already finished it. It took her about 3 hours to craft this sign, and she looked so proud and happy when it was done. I simply couldn't bring myself to tell her the truth. Oh. It's all my fault. She had already misspelled it on the invitation cards. I should have told her once before she started working on the sign. I feel so terrible. Please don't tell her. She would be incredibly embarrassed if she found out. Well, you have to tell her at some point, though. I know. Tomorrow, after everyone's gone. Definitely not tonight. Alright, gotcha. My lips are sealed. Thank you very much. Poor Rai. I hope Runa really tells her. I mean, it'd be bad if she never learned how to actually spell Halloween. Could really screw her over a lot. Could really screw her over in life. Like, imagine she'd want to get a job as a pumpkin carver. Who'd hire someone who ain't even got a clue how to spell Halloween? Indeed. Traditional Japanese sliding doors with translucent paper windows. The first floor hallway lies beyond them. I'm kind of tempted to just open them and escape from here, but... Miss Grumpy? Want to leave already? Even though the party hasn't even started yet? Must be a real pain for you to be stuck with us childish morons, hmm? Oh well, maybe it's for the best if you just disappear. That way the rest of us won't have to put up with your gloomy face the whole time. Got nothing to say? What a surprise. Sometimes I wonder if you can even talk at all. Oh well, whatever. Just try not to drag everybody's mood down. Just stand next to that pumpkin man or something. With your creepy face, you might as well make yourself a little useful and decorate the room. Curses. I wanted to say something, but hadn't been able to think of anything witty enough in time. Then again, she wasn't even worth wasting my breath. Anyway, maybe she was right. Maybe I really wanted to get away from here and have my peace and quiet. However, I certainly wasn't going to do her that favor. I'd rather stay than let her feel victorious. A pumpkin man. Just like a snowman, but made of pumpkins. He even got a twig for a nose. Ew, look at his chest. What the hell's that stuff inside there? Its brain? Why would its brain be inside his chest? I don't know. Maybe he ate it. Well, whatever it is, there's blood all over it. This is like totally disgusting. Taking the lower pumpkin's expression into, taking the lower pumpkin's expression into account, it must be delicious. I don't know, but it is. What? Wait, you ate that stuff? Yep. So, how does it taste? It's cherry flavored. They're just sweets with some cherry sauce poured all over them. Seriously? Yep, seriously. Still looks kind of disgusting. I thought the same when I first saw them. Why didn't you try them then? Because of Hiro. The moment we entered the dining hall, the first thing he did was to reach into that thing's chest and stuff a whole handful of its contents into his mouth. I couldn't believe it, but then he was just like, delicious, and told me to try them. Want some? Nah, I'm still gonna pass on them. Your loss. How about you, Raiko-chan? No thanks. Okay. With a shrug that was basically saying, you don't know what you're missing out on. Momoko turned towards the pumpkin man and reached into his chest. She grabbed a handful of those disgusting looking sweets and threw them into her mouth and happily munched away. Even if they were truly delicious, that didn't change the fact that the mere sight of them made me feel like throwing up. Moreover, I didn't quite fancy getting my hands all sticky by touching them. And on the topic of touching, there's no telling who had already touched them and if their hands had been clean. If Kotaba, for example, had been eating that stuff, I certainly didn't want to touch it, let alone put it in my mouth. An Okuku doll? How did that urban legend go again? You sure you want me to tell you? Yes. It's just a story about a doll. Dolls ain't scary. Well, if you say so. Don't tell me I didn't warn you. Or, yeah, don't tell me I didn't warn you, though. Anyway, here goes. The origins of the Okiku doll. Ooh. Long ago, there was a little girl who once owned a doll just like the one you see here sitting on the floor. It was very important to her, and she loved playing with it whenever she could. Sadly, one day the girl died from an illness. Following that tragic event, her parents placed the doll on her altar and prayed for her every day. However, eventually they noticed something very peculiar. What'd they notice? That the doll's hair slowly began to grow. Huh? Once very short, the doll's hair kept growing and growing until it reached its knees. They tried cutting it, but it always kept growing back. The parents finally came to the conclusion that the soul of their daughter had taken refuge inside her beloved doll. They brought it to a priest who placed it inside his temple, and naturally, it took the interest of quite a number of people, including scientists. They didn't want to believe that the soul of a human girl was causing the hair to grow, so they tried finding a scientific explanation. Did they find one? They did, right? I mean, there's got to be a perfectly reasonable reason the doll's hair kept growing, right? Unfortunately, they never found an answer. All they could conclude through their research was what? That the hair on the doll's head was actually real human hair. In fact, it was the hair of a young girl. Yeah! Oh dear. But I did warn her. Poor gullible Chan. There's a small alcove over there with a hanging scroll placed in its center. The scroll depicts a painting of a river meandering through a beautiful forest scenery. There's your typical bedsheet ghost with patches sewn on it, hanging from the ceiling. It's got a very long tongue. This doesn't really seem like the shy type of ghost, which would hide its face when you look at it. Nobara. Hi. How you feeling so far? Okay. A little bored, though. Yeah, for a party, there sure ain't much partying going on. Well, not much we can do about it. You cannot start a party without the host. Besides, I don't mind it being quiet. And why are you complaining about it being boring? I'm not complaining. It's just that I can't stop thinking about all the productive activities I could be enjoying right now if only I was home. Oh, sorry. It's all my fault you ended up here against your will. That's okay. I mean, of course I still wish you hadn't let Rai talk you into this, but no use crying over spilt milk. I just hope the night will go by quickly. Oh, come on, don't be like that. It's gonna be fun. We'll see about that. But enough about me. You seem quite excited. Getting nervous yet? A little, maybe. Really wondering what Rai's got in store for us. Well, it shouldn't matter, right? Huh? Why not? Back home, when you came to pick me up, you quite probably claimed that you were prepared, that you prepared yourself and that nothing could faze you, remember? Oh, yeah. What exactly did you mean by that, anyway? Well, I played a bunch of horror games last night. Oh? All by yourself? Yes. To mentally prepare myself. I managed to finish him. Well, one of them. Almost. Like, I was halfway through. I think. Okay, I was just half an hour into it, but still. It must have been pretty scary, Let's just say I wasn't able to sleep after that. So, that's why you were so tired. Nevertheless, I'm proud of you for trying it by yourself. Well, some really creepy and disturbing shit. Whoever comes up with that stuff's gotta be some sick fuck. To be honest, the whole time I've been wanting to call you over, but it was already 1 a.m., so... I see. Anyway, I got you here with me now. The unscarable Raiko-sama. Whatever Rai's trying to scare us with, it won't matter. A little embarrassed, Bata-chan began scratching her cheek and forcing herself to smile. My poor scaredy cat. She didn't seem too confident. Frankly speaking, I wasn't either. Considering how much she had already been startled by Rai's greeting or Mika's appearance in the hallway, I feared her preparations might have been in vain. But now it should have been rather obvious. By now it should have been rather obvious, but Bata-chan wasn't the bravest of girls. Everything related to horror really got to her. Vengeful spirits, curses, the underworld, demons. She was quite superstitious and actually believed in the existence of all these supernatural phenomena. It didn't matter how many times I tried telling her that all of it was nonsense. Once somebody merely mentioned the word ghost, her stress levels skyrocketed. That was the very reason why she originally hadn't wanted to attend the party herself. Nevertheless, she had promised Rai to come because she was the kind of person who couldn't say no to her friends. Because I hadn't been able to say no either when she begged me to accompany her, I had ended up being here myself. I guess you naturally felt safer with someone else at your side, but I still wasn't sure what exactly she was expecting me to do here tonight. I mean, sure, I wasn't frightened that easily, but did that really do her any good? Well, I'm just glad you're here with me. Thanks again for coming, even though you didn't want to. I'll return the favor, promise. That's okay. As long as you're happy, that's all that matters. We're friends. We stick together, right? Yes. Anyway, let's see what the others are up to, alright? Alright. Each page for Nobara's profile has been added. Alright, give me 1 second. sorry about that. Honestly, Tamashi-san, you cannot go around eating the decorations. It looks so yummy, but tasted like crap. Well, you're normally supposed to eat what's inside the pumpkin. You mean the candle? It's edible? Mika didn't know edible candles existed. That's not what I meant. What's going on here? Just Tamashi-san's usual shenanigans. Anyway, is there something I can help you with? Akadori-san? Shinrai-san? Talk to Mika. So, Mika, what exactly are you dressed up as, anyway? No, but I can't tell. Mika's the Reaper. Oh, so that's why earlier you said our souls were yours, huh? Mika's gonna scare you to death and collect your souls. You know something I always wanted to ask you? Why do you enjoy scaring others and playing pranks on them so much anyway? Why wouldn't Mika? Well, it's fun. Well, I guess so. But you tend to go to such great lengths just to scare them, just to scare someone. I hate it when they spell accents. It's so hard to read. Like how you snuck into school the other night just to build that weird mechanism device thingy that fired a piece of chalk at Kenji's face when he opened his desk the next morning. Ain't that a bit too much work? I wonder if it's really worth the effort. Of course it is. Mika will get the ice cream after all. What? You see, during his school life, Mika's dad managed to give 107 students such a scare they wet themselves. If Mika can break that record before she graduates from high school, Mika's dad will buy her ice cream. Wait, what? Seriously? That was her motivation? She did all that? For ice cream? Mika's Gramps managed to scare the living daylights out of 69 students, and when Mika's dad broke that record, Mika's Gramps bought him a lollipop. I see. Looks like this scaring business runs through the whole family then, huh? It's a family tradition. Even now, scaring people is the most important thing in Mika's dad's life. So your dad's still scaring people? Mika's dad scares a lot of people every day at work. What's his job then? Playing a ghost at a haunted house or something? Huh? No, Mika's dad is a court judge. What did she just say? You mean like a judge at a tennis court, right? I could imagine them trying to scare the spectators. No. Court, like in courtroom. Bada-chan and I shared the same expression of disbelief. How in the world was that even possible? Was Mika honestly telling us her father was scaring people during courtroom sessions? I hereby declare you guilty. What? Just kidding. No. She was kidding. She had to be. Otherwise, I was going to lose even more faith in our judicial system. Anyway, how many people you scared so far then? 93. What? Already? And you ain't cheating? Mika would never cheat. Mika scared them all fair and square. Only people who wet themselves count, and Mika can't scare the same person twice. Well, Mika could, but she isn't allowed to count them twice. So you basically have to scare 108 different people to break your dad's record, huh? How's your dad checking you ain't lying to him? See that skeleton button on Mika's breast? It's a camera. Mika always has to wear a button camera and film her scare tactics so Mika's dad can watch and validate them later on. I was hoping so desperately that everything she was telling us right now was a big joke. Unfortunately, I had actually met her parents during the last cultural festival and, well, let's just say I couldn't put it past them. Wait a sec. A camera? Are you telling me that time you scared me and I peed my pants? You actually taped that and showed it to your dad? Anyway, unfortunately Mika's camera ran out of juice, so Mika won't be able to film the glorious moment of Raiko's defeat tonight. But that's no reason not to try. Mika's scare score will definitely go up by 1, and everyone here will be Mika's witness. While saying that, she pointed her index finger at me, confidence burning in her eyes. A mischievous grin formed on her lips, and before I could even say a thing, she turned around with a loud, self-confident laughter and walked away, her long, torn scarf waving behind her. Well, who would have thought that she's even taping all her nonsense? Good to know her camera's not working tonight, but now that she's told us about it, I'm all the more resolved to never let her beat me. I certainly won't want to be... Bada-chan? Oh dear. I guess the revelation that had been a little too much for her. Mika's profile has been added. Let's talk to Runa. I'm still amazed at how awesomely decorated this place is. I am relieved to hear that. I am sure Miyamoto-san will be delighted as well. It really is impressive. To think just the two of you did all this together. Well, it wasn't just the two of us. We got additional help from Aiga-san. Oh? Kamen was helping out too. Indeed. However, Aiga-san and I actually didn't really do that much. We only helped with the food preparations as well as decorating the dining hall. In the end, Miyamoto-san did most of the work herself. The decorations were all done by her, for example. Wow, does Rai always put this much effort into her parties? Oh yes. I know Miyamoto-san doesn't necessarily seem like that kind of person, but she takes these things very seriously. And here I thought all this was just so she could seduce Taiko. Of course, Kikai-san played a huge part in it, but ultimately it's more important to her that everyone is having fun. The whole day she was asking me again and again if everything would be alright and if we forgot something important. She might not look it, but she is quite worried about everyone here won't be able to enjoy themselves. Don't tell her I said this though. Huh, interesting. I guess I had misjudged Rai. This night seemed to be incredibly important to her, not only because of Taiko. She did want all of us to have a lot of fun. If it was true and she always put this much effort into her parties, I really regret having declined all her previous invitations. It even made me feel kind of bad now. To think she always went through this much trouble, and I had just said no whenever she tried to invite me, simply dismissing all her hard work as an immature waste of time. Even if I had enjoyed being there, I should have at least gone to acknowledge her efforts. I really needed to apologize to her. I truly hope you will enjoy this party. Of course, I cannot tell you what exactly she has planned for tonight, but I can guarantee you that you won't be disappointed. Looking forward to it. Me too. That's good to hear. Hiro. Hold on a minute. Yo, Hiro! What you doing all the way back here just by yourself? Hiro? What? What is a cookie? Tasty? A miserable little pile of secrets. Yee! But enough talk. Have one. Poor Bada-chan and I had the slightest clue what the hell was going on. Hiro snatched 2 skull-shaped cookies from the sheet on the table and stuffed one of them into each of our mouths. Then he took a 3rd cookie for himself, flipped it in the air like a coin, and caught it between his fake vampire teeth. Not as tasty as a young maiden's blood, but delicious nonetheless. Yeah, they're really good. Rai is a nifty cook. Foolishness, Nobara. Foolishness. Aye. These masterpieces of cooking art were finally crafted with the utmost care by my precious little peach. You mean Momoko made them? Indeed. Yeah. So, what do you gals want? I'm not giving autograph sessions today. We were just curious what you're doing here all alone is all. Apart from simply being awesome, you mean? Nothing really. Just eating. I haven't tasted all the snacks around here yet. So you on a tasting tour, huh? Oh, by the way, the costume's really cool. I really dig that super long cape. You better be careful not to step on it, though. Wouldn't want you to face plant. Come on, as if something as ungraceful as that would ever happen to someone as perfect as me. Although I'll have you know that if it would happen, it would obviously be the greatest and most epic face plant of all time. Now I kind of want to see it. But anyway, you made the costume yourself? Of course you'd think something as awesome as this was made by my famous self, but it actually wasn't. My little Peach made it for me. She started working on it immediately after Rai invited us. I think that was like 2 weeks ago. Took her only one to make it. Wow, she's really talented. She's very talented, huh? Of course she is. Just like me. We're the perfect match. Although she's the only one to be lucky that such a great guy like me decided to go after her. I guess you could say I'm really lucky she chose me over everyone else, huh? Even though I honestly see no reason why she would have gone with anything less than perfection. Oh wow, this guy. I was surprised his ego hadn't popped like a balloon yet. Well, you made a nice catch, that's for sure. If I was a boy, I'd be so horny for her too. I guess I should be happy and satisfied then, huh? You ain't? Huh? Whatever. Would you mind leaving me alone for a bit? I know I'm a cool guy and I can't blame you for wanting to be near me, but even I need a couple moments for myself every now and again. You know, to recharge that aura of awesomeness I'm radiating. Okay. And just like that, Hiro swiped another cookie from the table and shoved it down his throat as he quietly walked off. What was that all about? He kinda ain't his usual self. Indeed. He had been making some self-glorifying comments like that, but the fact that he had been standing here all by himself, instead of trying to become the center of everyone's attention, was weird enough already. And his behavior just now. Something definitely seemed to be troubling him. Considering his reaction to Bada-chan's question, I got the feeling it probably wasn't as lovey-dovey between them and Momoko as he always liked to pretend. But whatever the case, it was none of our business. So, simply shrugging at each other, Bada-chan and I walked away, leaving Hiro by himself. Talk to Kodopa and Taiko. You really look bad today. What's up with these huge bags under your eyes? I didn't get much sleep again. Nightmares? Nah. Was watching porn all night, fapping until my cock burned. Dude. You can't be serious. Come on, it's totally normal. Every machacho does that. Everything in moderation, though. Although Raiko-chan and Nabata-chan are listening, just so you know. Hola, Raiko-chan. Kita? Yeah, just to be clear, I'm only thinking of you when I'm fapping. Dude, what the hell? Tell her stuff like that? Why not? It's a compliment. She's pure grade A fapping material. Just like Nobata-chan, and Mika-chan, and Kamen-chan, and Momoko-chan, and... You're unbelievable. Sorry, Raiko-chan. Please just ignore him. Anywho, can I do something for you? So, what's up with that weird costume, Kota-kun? What do you mean, what's up with it? I'm a prison inmate. Isn't that obvious? And what a fitting costume that was. Well, duh. I mean, why'd you decide to go as a prison inmate in the first place? There ain't nothing creepy about that. What? You kidding me? A lot of horror stuff happens in prisons, and some of my worst nightmares take place in there. You dreaming a lot about being in prison? Yeah, kind of. The other night I had a dream again where I was dropping the soap in the shower room and, well, let's just say the other guys had fun with my butt. The hip technique of that old cabron wasn't that bad, actually. Too much information. Indeed. And judging from his expression, it couldn't have been that much of a nightmare for him. Forget I asked anything. Oh, alright. Well, can I ask you something then? What? How often do you two beautiful senoritas masturbate a week? Wait! It's fine. You can tell me. Everyone does it, see? So there's nothing to be ashamed. Villain! Mika-chan! Mika! Eh? Au revoir! Don't you think you can get away from Mika? Serves him right. Indeed. That really hurt. I think my nose is totally kaput now. Ouch. Mika certainly hadn't shown any mercy. Couldn't say I was feeling sorry for him, though. Maybe he had finally learned his lesson, at least. Mika-chan's quite a ferocious beast. I bet she fucks like a tiger. Or maybe not. Taiko. So, Taika-kun, you also didn't customize yourself? Well, you know, it's just not my thing. It's a little childish in my opinion. I just feel like I'm a bit too old for that kind of stuff. What's so funny? I just sounded exactly like Raka-chan here for a second. I did? Well, yeah. I guess that Raka-chan's the kind of person who'd think that way. I was so mature and ahead of her age. Not saying that's a bad thing. On the contrary. Who doesn't like mature girls? Besides, like I said, I share the same sentiments. And I'm glad I'm not the only one who came here uncustomized. Then again, Raka-chan's at least wearing those cat ears, so I guess that could somewhat count as dressing up, huh? I guess so. By the way, the others were right in saying you look cute with those ears. You really do. Curses. That was getting more and more embarrassing by the moment. I could literally feel my face turn bright red as though it was really... Wait. I could literally feel my face turn bright red as though it was ready to self-destruct. What are you laughing at about now, Nobata-chan? Oh, just thought you two'd actually make a fine pair. What? You seem to have a lot in common, and your names also sound a lot alike. Black and Taiko, huh? That actually has a nice ring to it, don't you think? Do I see a possible romance blossoming on the horizon? Nobata-chan. Oh, come on, guys, just kidding. Why would she do this to me? As if this whole conversation hadn't already been awkward and embarrassing enough. Thankfully, though, Taiko simply ignored her ridiculous nonsense and quickly tried changing the subject. Anywho, like I said, dressing up isn't my kind of thing, but I gotta admit I somewhat regret not doing so, since the Ryu-kun seemed really disappointed by it. And I guess a big part of a Halloween-themed party is to wear a costume. Well, you know, color-wise, your clothes kind of have a police feeling to them, so I guess one could say you're wearing some sort of pseudo-costume. You think so? That's just my usual stuff I wear outside of school. But I guess you're right. The color scheme kind of resembles a policeman's uniform. Yes. And this costume of yours even matches Kotobas. Oh, whatever. True. Well, someone's got to keep that criminal in check. Speaking of which, I've always wondered how you even managed to deal with Kotobas. He's just new. Kind of hard to believe a nice guy like you is best friends with a creepy perv like him. To be honest, sometimes I wonder about that myself. Momontama. What's that supposed to mean, Taiko-chan? Are you saying I'm annoying? Well, sometimes. Maybe a little. Yeah. So you hate me? What? No, I didn't say that. You're tearing me apart, Taiko-chan. You certainly have your flaws. Well, a lot of them. But we've known each other for a long time now, so you could say I'm used to it. I also know a few things about you others don't. You can actually be a really nice and serious guy. Granted, it doesn't happen too often, but as a friend, I know I can count on you. Usually. Well, what I'm saying is nobody's perfect, especially not you. But you've done a lot for me in the past, and I appreciate that. I've never looked at it like this before. Most people at school probably thought a lot different about me and Bada-chan, but who was the only person who really knew me. Maybe it was the same as with Kotapa? Maybe I was just unfairly judging him due to lack of information, and in reality he had a really good non-perverted side too. I just never got to see them because I only knew him from class and didn't spend as much time with him as Taiko did. Oh, Taiko-chan. That's so sweet of you to say. You're making me blush. And you're kind of creeping me out again right now. Taiko-chan. Je t'aime. My body is yours. You can do me as hard as you want. Okay, I think I take that back what I said. Wah-ha! And so do I. Let's see, we got Common and Momoko. Really? Yes. That's why Kenji broke up with her. I never thought she was that kind of person. Guess you can't judge a book by its cover. Can't judge a book by its cover? That she, of all people, would dare say such a thing? Look who's eavesdropping. Huh? Oh, Raiko-chan. And Nobara-chan. Yo. What did we ever do to deserve you, blessing us with your presence, little Miss Grumpy? Come on, Kamen. Don't tease her. What can we do for you, Raiko-chan? Come on. So you actually want to talk to me. What's going on? Are you feeling all right, little Miss Grumpy? Or did you hit your head? So surprised to even see you here. I was certain you wouldn't show up, just like all the other times. Actually, this is the first time you're attending one of Riley's parties, isn't it? Some special reason for that? Or was the poor little thing forced to come here? Here to accompany Bada-chan? What a surprise. Nobara is the only person you don't deem an entire waste of your time, isn't she? Anyway, guess that means I was right. You're not here of your own free will, but because of your friend, huh? In other words, you poor thing felt forced to come here. Once again, I wanted to say something to her, but I had no idea what to say. She was right after all. I certainly wasn't here of my own free will. If I hadn't promised Bada-chan I'd accompany her, I would have gladly stayed home. Nevertheless, I didn't want to admit that in front of her. I probably shouldn't even have an answer for her to begin with. Poor little Miss Grumpy. You probably had more important things to take care of, and now you have to waste your precious time with us immature... Yo, come on, stop it. And there comes the lapdog. Just cut it out already, will you? What's your problem anyway? My problem? I want to know I want to know what's hers. What you even talking about? I want to know that myself. I was really sick of the way she treated me. It was about time to finally clear this up, so... I have not the slightest idea of what I did to you, but it's obvious you hate me for some reason. So if there's anything I can do to change that... It's too late to change anything now. Still, there is one thing I'd love to know. Why have you become like this? What? What kind of question was that? Why had I become like this? As in, why had I become what she liked to refer to as an unfriendly, dead, emotionless, grumpy person? Why did it even bother her that much? I knew myself that I didn't leave the best impression on others due to my rather unsociable behavior. Most people ignored me because of that, which was totally fine by me. Kamen, however, was the only one who seemed to really despise me for my personality. But what was I going to say? I was simply an introvert. I avoided social interaction not because I was shy or hated everybody else, but because it was kind of exhausting and I preferred not to get too close to others. Was it really such a big deal? A lot of people were like that, including her best friend, Momoko, so I didn't really get why she had it out for me, of all people. Was it simply the fact that, unlike Momoko, I was always so serious, didn't know how to have fun, and never took part in our class shenanigans? I guess in those regards, the me from a few years ago had been a bit different. However, if Common was expecting me to tell her about what led me to change, well... Yeah. Why not now? Maybe I'll tell you some other time. Why not now? I don't want to talk about it right now. Fair enough. I guess I shouldn't have asked a question like that anyway. Sorry. Wait. Now she was apologizing to me? Says, what the heck was up with this girl? Well then, would you mind leaving me alone now? Man, I really wonder why she's like that towards you. It's like you killed her puppy or something. You really ain't got a clue what you did to her? Believe me, I truly wish I did. Momoko? Hi, those ears sure are cute. I can't stop staring at them. Where'd you get them anyway? My mother got them for me. Oh, I see. That reminds me, I never really saw it, but don't your mom actually get you some kind of cat suit as well? Oh, hi. I want to see you wear it. Wearing that atrocious piece of garbage again? I'd rather kill myself. So you actually wore it already, huh? Well, doing a second time shouldn't be that hard then, right? Do it for us. Do it for science. No. I'd honestly prefer suicide over that. Don't say things like that. I know you're just exaggerating, but you shouldn't talk like that. Suicide isn't a laughing matter. You shouldn't take it lightly. That sudden look in her eyes, the cheerfulness glowing in them until just a moment ago had been utterly eradicated. Now, all that was seeping through was sadness and pain. Even without her words, I can instantly tell that suicide was quite a sensitive topic to her. Maybe she had dealt with it before, one way or another. Whatever the case, I had only wanted to exaggerate a little, but I guess I should have chosen my words more wisely. She was right after all. One shouldn't joke about a matter of such gravity. Sorry, that wasn't my intention. It's okay. I guess I overreacted there a little. Anyway, let's talk about something else. So, how'd you like to hear so far? Enjoying the party? Enjoyment is something different. But I guess it could be worse. You're not the party type, are you? Not really. Well, I can kind of relate. I'm a little introverted myself and don't like huge parties that much. Yeah, you're definitely one of them quieter peeps. Although today seems to be different. You're a little more outgoing and talkative than usual. Hi, I guess so. It's probably because we're not that many and the few people who are here are the ones in class I like most. So I'm feeling a bit more comfortable than at school. If everyone was here, I'd stick to Kamen and Hito and hide from everyone else. Yeah, that'd be more like you. But since we're already on that topic, I've always wondered how someone as shy as you actually manages to play in a band. And on the stage at that. Like during that last cultural festival. Hi, it seems like quite a paradox, doesn't it? Well, music means everything to me. My dad's a guitarist himself, and he taught me to play since I was 6 years old. 6? Well, no wonder you're so good. Playing guitar, making music feels so liberating. It's hard to put into words, but I just love it. It's totally not true. Music is frustration and pain. Only the audience gets to enjoy it. When I'm up on the stage with so many people watching me, of course I feel nervous, but the moment I start playing, I just close my eyes and focus on the melody. That way, it's just the music and me, and I forget everything else around me. That's how I'm able to play in front of a huge crowd. That's a neat trick, isn't it? It took me a long while until I figured it out, though. Before, I just kept hiding behind the stage and didn't even dare to enter it. However, I couldn't always bail on the other band members, and I didn't want them to kick me out, so... Now see. Well, I'm sure glad you found a way to play on stage. Your performance sure was awesome. Thanks. Oh, by the way, I've been meaning to ask you for this for a while. What's your favorite kind of music, and do you have any musicians you really like? Of course. LG all the way. I really dig his raps. His lyrics are so deep and moving. I see. Very interesting. I have to admit, his music is kind of cool, although I'm not really a huge fan of rap. What about you, Raiko-chan? My favorite kind of music, huh? Death metal, I guess. I love the band Human Sacrifices a lot. Huh? That's kind of unexpected. Actually, I'm kidding. I see. Wouldn't have guessed with your expression. You have a weird sense of humor. I wouldn't have necessarily called it humor. I just kind of enjoy shocking people every now and then by saying things they didn't expect from me. Seeing their reaction was always amusing. So, what do you like then? I'm not really sure. I don't have a favorite musician. As for the genre, I like a lot of music, but I guess I especially enjoy jazz? Ah, yeah, that's more like it. Death metal really doesn't suit you. I don't know about that. I can actually kind of see it. What's that supposed to mean? Hi, anyway. That was interesting. Yes, very interesting indeed. I learned a lot about you two just now. You did? Yes. A person's taste in music can actually tell you quite a lot about them. You can? So what exactly does our taste in music tell you about us? Sorry, not telling. What? No fair. Momoko couldn't stop herself from giggling. She seemed to be enjoying herself quite a bit. It was just like Bada-chan had mentioned earlier. Usually Momoko was rather shy and didn't talk much, similar to me. But today was different. I couldn't help but wonder if there was some special reason for that. You two are a fun duo. It's too bad we never talked like this before. I really regret that now. If you feel that way, we just gotta talk a shit ton starting now. Never too late to change stuff like that. We're classmates after all. We'll get a lot more chances to talk, right? Just gotta have to use them. That would be nice. I have to admit, I kind of feel the same. This was basically the first time I had ever talked to Momoko like this, and she really was a nice and interesting person. To be honest, I also started thinking it was quite a shame I had never talked to her before. I guess that was the curse of introverted people. Okay, let me talk to everyone now. Is there any more? So there's 2 scenes? I guess. Check. Done talking, looking around. Yes, I am. Let's just wait for Rai now. Alright, guess can't force you. I'm gonna talk some more to the others, though. And with that, I apologized to Bada-chan before quietly withdrawing into a corner of the room. Sighing, I sat down at one of the large dinner tables from where I watched the others continue their boring and trivial conversations. It really wasn't made for this kind of thing. All I could hope now was that it wouldn't take much longer for Rai to come back. The sooner she would, the sooner I'd be able to go to bed. I wasn't exactly sure how much time had passed since she set out on her quest to regenerate her rotten skin, but by now, it should have been more than enough to take several showers. So what in the world was she doing? I was really starting to get bored here and already felt like a little exhausted. The party hadn't even officially started yet, and I would have loved to just go straight to bed. And I guess I wasn't the only one. Runa was trying her best to keep everyone entertained, but the nervousness on her face etched itself deeper and deeper into her expression as the others grew more and more impatient. What the hell? Where the hell is Rai? Some party this is. I'm getting bored here, and I can only eat so many snacks before I feel like throwing up. My apologies, said Ataki-san. I don't know what's taking her so long. Well, if she doesn't show up soon, I'm going to my room. Please, it can't be much longer. I think I'll just go look for Rai-kun. She's honestly taking a little too long. Oh, you don't have to, Kikai-san. I'll go myself and... But before she was able to finish her sentence... The clattering noise of the sliding doors cut right through it. Everyone immediately darted their gazes towards the dining hall's entrance. Yo-ho! And there she was. Finally. And, well... So far we've gotten to know everyone, but... Really nothing's happened. But that's okay. I mean, it's horror, so sometimes horror just takes a little while to kind of ramp up. I mean, you want to get to know everybody before all the shit hits the fan. That way, it's a little bit more impactful. At least that's what I'm assuming is going to happen. I don't know. I didn't read interviews or look into this at all. It just looked interesting from the art, and it's been a while since we've done a visual novel, so I figured it'd be fun to kind of do something a little different. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching, and hopefully this visual novel gets more exciting later on, and I will see you at the next stream.